Hello watercolor friends, thanks for joining me today. It's Jennifer with Watercolor Girlfriend. Today we're going to explore the ocean type of painting a little differently than what I have done in the past with some tropical beach paintings. This one is under the sea, but it's incorporating our abstract styles. And we are going to work with a number of different materials. Our favorite, the masking fluid. We're actually going to start with a oil pastel that is black this time. I was a little nervous, you'll see that in the video, but I'm really glad that I gave it a try. We'll also use the white one as well going forward. And the watercolor soluble crayons, love these. Gel pen. And we're going to incorporate some fun, these are actually homemade, you know, not homemade, but handmade, pardon me, by a CSY art gallery. These are these cool shimmery paints. Love to incorporate those when I can. And we're going to be working on this cool paper, which if you've been following me for a little bit, you know that I started off kind of like, I don't know if I like these, and I've really turned out to enjoy this paper. So if you haven't tried it, I'm not a sponsor, but it is a really fun size, and it is a hot press, which is also a favorite of mine, so it's got a smooth feel. It's definitely different than your cold press. If you haven't tried it, I recommend it. It does have a different look once you've used it some, and it kind of, you know, absorbs your color a little differently, so not quite as much. Maybe it sits on the top a little differently. I think it's great. I think it's cool. And so this is again what we're going for. I incorporated all those cool things into this painting. And I also wanted to thank everybody for following and commenting. I love to hear if you enjoy the paintings, if you've been trying them yourself, and if you haven't tried them out, I'm glad you're enjoying the videos anyway. So let's watch the next one and we'll see you over there. Today I want to use the black oil pastel, and this was a little scary to me, so if you haven't used it either, I wasn't real sure what I was gonna like it or not, but I gave it a bit of a try and did a mock-up, you know, tried some of these techniques that I was thinking of using, and I liked how it turned out, so I'm going to, you know, use it again here today. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna head in with our blue colors. Again, all blue this time. This is more of a teal color. I really like it. Now I forgot to mention it, but I am going to include some liquid watercolor. You've seen me use this before. I want to use a watercolor, a water-soluble crayon. And I like to wet it first, so it is kind of melty. You can kind of mimic waves, you know, kind of the feel that you get. And dry that off before I put it away. Now we're gonna let this dry and see how cool it looks after. Now it is time for our masking fluid. I'm gonna shake that up pretty good, especially if you haven't used it in a little while. I really like how this came out. It's such a great texture when it kind of pools and dries. This isn't the liquid watercolor, but it's still very cool. And the water-soluble crayon, how it kind of spreads. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff going on here. So we will be back after that dries as well to add in more color. Super, now the masking fluid has dried. I'm gonna add a little more color in these areas. forgot that this was dry. Okay, just get that off. Not a big deal. I'm gonna put some dots over there too. I always clean up kind of at the end. Make sure that you didn't leave any behind. Okay, let's try this again. Now, actually, I think this black is too intense, but I love the look when it gets kind of calmed down by covering it with the white. You could even consider using a blue. Oops, went over that paint a little, but it's okay. Nice to have this contrast of black against the yellow, the blue. Kind of looks like rocks in the water. I think I will do some blue around a couple of things here. Maybe I'll actually use blue crayon with a finer tip. Or you could use a watercolor pencil too. It gives you a nice fine line. Don't have to do all of them. I'm gonna use I want it to look a little raggedy, not such a fine circle. And over here, since it's, okay, nice. I'm gonna let these little dots dry, and in that time, I'm going to remove these here. So, excuse me, that keeps moving all over the place. I am going to now do a little splatter. Get a lot of paint on your brush. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. You can kind of focus it a little. I'm just going to move it a little bit so it's not completely around that little area. Great. I think that looks good. Now we do need to, oh, you know what? I wanted to bring in a little bit more down here as well of this same color. If it looks like there's too much color where you put it, which I don't really, but I wanted to give this a little bit of a try. I think it helps kind of blend that area. But I'm going back to put it back there. I liked it a little darker. Okay, so I don't think it's going to take too long for that small amount of paint to dry, but we'll be back. It's really coming together nicely. I'm going to add a little gel pen. Now I want to use my glittery paint. This is a handmade watercolor. Just ordered it online. It goes nice with this theme. Sadly, it's not always easy to see the sparkle or the shimmery on video at this angle. So I'll try to show it to you after I get the tape off. I think I'm going to add a little bit more over here as well. Make it a little bit darker. I'd like to add a little more white in here. a little better. Doesn't need to be so harsh. I think that's good. We should take off the tape. The key is to finding the tape that you ended with. Well, that was pretty unusual. This tape usually never tears. Something must, oh look, and now it's, so you can really just take some white paint, acrylic, and cover that up. You could trim it all off, you could frame it, mat it. It's not, doesn't have to be the end of the world, but I like to do the edge when I get started. It's a nice way to finish it. So I'm real pleased with how this turned out, maybe even this direction. But I'm gonna call this one Under the Sea, and I hope it inspires you to start painting or continue whatever painting you've had in mind that you'd like to create. And please subscribe and comment. Do you have any questions about the supplies we use or the subject matter? Do you like the painting? Would love to hear about that too. We always try to be nice here. And thanks again for joining me. Happy painting.